Morning, everybody. So today we're going to be going over what we're doing in Unit 2, Lesson 2 of our news article unit. Um, this assignment you're going to do focuses on headlines, and that's really what this lesson will focus on as well. So I just want to call your attention to the lesson itself. Get rid of me. So what I would like you to do is read the entire lesson, obviously, but you're going to pay special attention to these three bolded areas: the purpose of a headline, format of a headline, and language of a headline. These bulleted points in point form are the features you're going to be talking about when you actually go in and do your lesson. Okay, so these are the different features that would describe a headline and what specifically a headline is in a news article. Any of these features can be used in Unit 2, Lesson 2 assignment. What I would like to do, sorry, pop-ups. What I would like you to do is try to use as many different ones as you can, and this will become more obvious when we get into the lesson. When you're doing your lesson, this is the content section here you're going to refer back to in order to find out the features that can be used. So what you're going to do basically is you're going to go into, and so here's the assignment itself. So you're going to search any newspaper for headlines that include any three of the features you learned about in the content portion of this activity. So it's any three of those bulleted points. You may use the links from Lesson 1 to help you locate a newspaper, website, or article. So you can go back to Lesson 1, use any of those. I think there's about a dozen links to different kind of newspapers or periodicals that I gave you. Go ahead and you're going to look specifically at the headlines, and you're trying to find a minimum of 3 headlines that have 3 of these bulleted features. So it could be any of these. It could be any from the purpose, any from the format, any from the language, but the headline has to contain 3 of these features. Okay, what you're going to be asked to do is identify those features, right? So when you found a minimum of 3 headlines that have 3 of the features of a headline, copy each headline and label it with the features you just learned about. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the Google Doc, and there's a few examples here that you can take a look at. Sorry, here I already got it open. So here's the Google Doc. So what you're going to do is you're going to basically copy and paste the actual headline here. You can also put the name of the newspaper and date of the newspaper. If you found 3 different ones, and just put the 3 names and the 3 dates. Just do them in order. So the first name and first date, second name, second date, that kind of thing. Copy and paste the headline here, and then you're going to record 3 features that you feel that headline has that conforms to what we learned about in the content section. Okay. And the instructions that were on the assignment are actually here as well, so you can refer back to them as well. Just one thing, the features that you put in here can't be just what you think about them. They obviously have to be from the lesson that we learned. You always want to use the language in the lesson that we do each day in the assignment that's based on it. So what I have here, I have an example, a student example that was done. So if you're going to take a look. So here's the headline they copied out. Doug Ford slams the media and Bill Blair gets personal during interview with Global News. Okay, and the 3 features they chose, and basically it's okay if you just copy and paste them from the content, they're focusing on quotation marks. Single quotation marks are used as opposed to double. Only the first word of any proper nouns are capitalized. So Doug Ford, Bill Blair, Global News, those are proper nouns. So only they're capitalized. And they're written in the active voice. In other words, so it's things are happening kind of thing as we go. You don't want to say that, again, we don't want to talk in the past tense, even though we're talking about events that did happen in the past, as news media often does. Another example here, U.S. accuses Canada of dumping pipeline material in the latest trade shot. So here the feature they tended to focus on is the headlines tend to include verbs, accuses, dumping, latest, but avoid forms of the verb. The headlines are also written in the present tense for past activities. So even though this happened in the past, we're using present tense, so accuses, not accused, and dumping, not dumped. And then a headline can also just the mood or tone of the article. So the mood or tone of the article, I think that this would suggest would be fairly, conflicting. Obviously, this article lets us know this the headline lets us know this article may be have some conflict in it, so that may want to interest people to read. When you're done that, just one thing is please make sure there's 3 separate features for each headline. So you'll have 9 in total, 3 headlines, 3 features each. And please try to use different ones. Don't use the same 3 for each one. There's probably about 15 to 20 of those features on the other page. I would hope that you can find at least 8 or 9 different ones that you can use in your article. I've given you 2 here, but you'll be doing 3. After you're done that, there is a second part of the assignment. And so one thing I really want us to understand is a lot of times these assignments have 2 parts, or sometimes it's a practice assignment and the real one. Really read them carefully to make sure you understand what's being asked of you. So for number 2, now you're going to write your own headlines using your knowledge of all headline purpose, format, and language. You will write a headline for all of the 5 photos included in the Google Doc. So let's flip back to the Google Doc. And down here, we've given you photos that you will base a headline off of. Okay, so here you will write the headline. So instead of finding the headline, now you are creating the headline. And be creative. This one could be, the first thing I thought of was the headline could be Facebook folds, Zuckerberg panics, or something to that effect. And then again, 1 feature, not 3. You don't have to do 3 here. Just find 1 feature from the headline you create. Again, there's 5 of them. You should have 5 headlines. Please have 5 different features. I'm only asking you to do 5, so you should hopefully be able to find different ones. And you always want to do that to use different, bring in different things to show the teacher or the reader of your assignments that you're knowledgeable on all aspects of the assignment or the lesson, as opposed to just 2 or 3. Okay, so that's really your assignment. One thing I did want to show you that I probably should have showed you earlier is a great aspect of Google and Google Docs is this concept of Google Read and Write. So if you're ever having problems reading something, or you're in a car and there's motion sickness, you don't want to read it, you can always highlight a word or a block of text and click on the little icon here that comes up, this one here. And what it'll do, it'll basically read it to you.
When you think about what catches your attention, pictures often come to mind. Many news articles include a photo, however, some do not. In order to catch people's attention.
And then simply close it out. Now you can do that with a huge block of text. You can do it with 1 word if you're having trouble, if you don't know how to pronounce a word.
Attention. Attention.
You can hear it again and over, especially if we're having problems with the language. This will help you learn words, pronounce words, etc. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson. At any time, if you need any help and I'm not in the place that you're in, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call. Okay, thanks everybody, and hope you have fun with this lesson.